Welcome back to Learn English with Stories. Have you ever had to deal with an angry customer, someone who was already upset before you even said a word? Today's story is about Sarah, a customer service executive who faced one of the most difficult clients in her career. At first, everything seemed like a disaster, but in the end, she turned the situation around in a surprising way. Let's begin. Sarah had been working in customer service for nearly 2 years. During that time, she had handled many different situations: late deliveries, missing orders, and even small complaints. Most of the time, she remained calm and professional, but deep down, she knew that one day she would face a truly difficult customer, and that day finally came. One Monday morning, Sarah arrived at the office as usual. She turned on her computer, took a sip of coffee, and began checking new customer requests. Everything seemed normal until she saw one message. The subject line was written in all capital letters: "Very disappointed. Urgent response needed." Sarah paused for a moment. She clicked on the email. As she read through the message, her expression slowly changed. The client was clearly angry. He complained about a delayed delivery, poor communication, and what he described as unacceptable service. His words were direct, his tone was harsh, and at the end of the email he wrote, "If this is not resolved today, we will cancel the contract." Sarah leaned back in her chair. She could feel the pressure immediately. This wasn't just a complaint. This was a serious situation that could lead to losing a client. For a few seconds, Sarah didn't type anything. Instead, she closed her eyes and took a slow breath. She knew one thing for sure: if she reacted emotionally, the situation could become worse. So instead of reacting immediately, she decided to think carefully. First, Sarah reviewed the client's order history. She checked the delivery timeline, the internal notes, and the communication records. And soon, she found the problem. The delivery had indeed been delayed, and even worse, the team had not informed the client in advance. That meant the client's frustration was completely understandable. Now, Sarah faced an important decision. She could try to defend the company, or she could take responsibility and focus on solving the problem. After thinking for a moment, she chose the second option. She began writing her reply. But she didn't rush. She carefully chose every word. "Dear Mr. James," she wrote, "thank you for bringing this issue to our attention." She paused, then continued. "First of all, I would like to sincerely apologize for the delay and the lack of communication from our side." She made sure her tone was calm and respectful. Then she added, "We understand how this has affected your business, and we take full responsibility for this situation." After that, Sarah moved on to the solution. She explained what had caused the delay. She provided a clear update on the delivery status, and most importantly, she offered a solution. She wrote, "We will prioritize your order and ensure it is delivered within the next 24 hours. And, as a gesture of goodwill, we would like to offer a discount on your next order." Before sending the email, Sarah read it again carefully. She checked every sentence. She made sure the message was clear, professional, and empathetic. Then finally, she clicked send. Now all she could do was wait. An hour passed, then 2 hours. Sarah tried to focus on other tasks, but her mind kept returning to that email. Did I say the right thing? Was it enough? Later that afternoon, a new message appeared in her inbox. It was from the client. Sarah took a deep breath before opening it. "Thank you for your quick response," the client wrote. The tone was different this time, calmer, more neutral. "I appreciate your explanation and your effort to resolve the issue." Sarah continued reading. "We will wait for the delivery and monitor the situation." Sarah let out a quiet breath. The situation was not fully resolved yet, but it was no longer a crisis. The next day, the delivery was completed successfully, and shortly after that, the client sent another message. This time, the tone was completely different. "Thank you for your support," he wrote. "We appreciate your professionalism." Sarah smiled. It hadn't been an easy situation, but she had handled it the right way. And in that moment, she realized something important. In business, problems are unavoidable, but the way you respond to those problems, that is truly what matters. Now that you've heard the story, let's go through some useful business English words and phrases that appeared in this situation. First, let's look at the word complaint, which refers to a situation where a customer expresses dissatisfaction about a product or service. In this story, the client sent a complaint because of a delayed delivery and poor communication, and in real life, handling complaints is a very common part of customer service. Next, we have the phrase take responsibility, which means to accept that a mistake has been made and not try to avoid it. Sarah chose to take responsibility instead of making excuses, and this helped calm the situation. Moving on, we come to the word resolve, which means to solve a problem or find a solution. In business communication, you will often hear phrases like resolve the issue or resolve the situation as soon as possible. Another important term is delay, which means something happens later than expected. In the story, the delay was the main reason for the client's frustration, and delays are one of the most common causes of customer complaints. We also have the word professionalism, which refers to the way you behave in a serious and responsible manner at work. Sarah remained calm and professional even when the client was angry, and this made a big difference in the final outcome. Finally, let's look at the word gesture of goodwill, which means a small action taken to show that you care about maintaining a good relationship. In this case, Sarah offered a discount as a gesture of goodwill to rebuild trust with the client. As you can see, these expressions are extremely useful when dealing with real business situations, especially when handling difficult customers. So, what can we learn from this story? Dealing with angry customers is never easy, but staying calm, taking responsibility, and focusing on solutions can turn a negative situation into a positive one. If you want to improve your English for real work situations, learning through stories like this can help you understand both language and mindset. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel for more business English stories. See you in the next video.